Let's show him time. Crazy, man. Hey, keep going. Keep going.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck, and if you are new to the channel, do us a huge favor, comment, like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. So the Dallas Cowboys wrapped up their final preseason game versus the LA Chargers, and there's a lot of good takeaways and some bad, right? But I think the hot topic button that I really want to discuss in this video is Trey Lance. Now, I will say this, and it's kind of exhausting to me personally as a Cowboys fan, as a content creator, as an analyst, whatever you want to call myself. When it comes to Cowboys fans, and yes, we're going to talk today as a family, there's always this Hunger Games-like mentality where we have to divide ourselves into teams and we just fight to the death, right? So what I'm getting at, right, there's a lot of people, self-included, who would like to see Dak Prescott as the future quarterback, right? We want to get the deal done. We want to see Dak for the next at least 4 to 5 years in Dallas because we feel like he is just now hitting his prime, okay? So we want Dak to be our quarterback. But what people are doing is they are tearing down Trey Lance for that protection, right? So anything Trey Lance does, it's just negative. Everything is he sucks, he's garbage, he's trash, he blah, 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 blah. Cooper Rush is better, right? Because they want to keep protecting Dak Prescott and they don't want a true competition. So it's just Trey, right? He's horrible, right? So we're in this team, right? There's team A. And then there's team B, where it's like they hate Dak Prescott's guts. I don't know what he did to them, what he did to their mama, did to their sister, did to their girl, right? But they cannot stand Dak Prescott and they want him gone. And they are willing to toss anybody out there other than Dak Prescott. So what they're using is Trey Lance can do no wrong, right? Look at the throws, look at the speed, look at that, blah, blah, blah. Look at Cooper Rush. Like there are Shedeur Sanders. Like they don't care who it is. They just want Dak Prescott gone, right? So those two teams are battling. But then you have the independents, right? Kind of like myself, where I'm just analyzing the player. Like I'm just analyzing the player and trying to find out what's best for the team. So I guess for me, I kind of fit as a tweener between the two. I want Dak Prescott signed. I want that done tomorrow, right? I want Dak Prescott signed, but I also see the attraction and the upside potential of Trey Lance. Like I'm not going to turn a blind eye to it just because I want Dak Prescott signed. Like it's just, I just can't do that because I lose my respect. I lose all dignity, right? And I lose like just my moral code where I'm just tearing down a player just because I become compromised. And the number one thing that I always preach, don't become compromised media, right? And a lot of people think that's just talking about old media. You can be compromised by your ideas. Just because I want this guy to win so bad, I'm compromised by that, right? So I never want to be that. I want to just kind of look at the film, look at the analytics, and call it how I see it. Now, I will say this. A lot of this is due to the people upstairs and Jerry Jones, right? Jerry Jones has created this situation. Well, case in point, right? Let's say if Trey Lance went to Buffalo. Would it be this huge spectacle between Trey Lance and Josh? Absolutely not. He would just be a backup quarterback, just kind of like, Zach Wilson's right now in Denver, kind of like Mac Jones is, just like Justin Fields is, just like Carson. He gets to just be a backup quarterback and just kind of just work on your craft and kind of build as you go. But Jerry Jones has created this circus, and I feel like what's happened, it's blown up in his face. Now, why do you say it's blown up in his face, right? Now, we know the Dallas Cowboys went out there and outbid a lot of teams. There was Minnesota wanting Trey. There was Buffalo wanting Trey, right? There's other teams that wanted Trey, but we gave them a 4th-round pick because we wanted Trey. But what did we want Trey for? Was it really just to build out our roster? Like, do we really think a 3rd-string quarterback was so important last year that we just had to burn a 4th-round pick? I don't think that's the case, right? Because remember, Will Grier played perfectly fine his last preseason game to be a 3rd-string quarterback. I mean, he's a 3rd-string quarterback right now in Philadelphia. So what was the why? And me personally, I think that this was kind of a leverage tool for Dak Prescott. So since Jerry Jones did that, you created this conversation. And unfortunately for the kid Trey Lance, he is put in a horrible situation. You're not being compared to a Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. You are being compared to a guy who was the MVP runner-up, who's been, during the regular season, one of the best quarterbacks. He looks statistically wise, right? That is who you're being compared to. You're not going to measure up to that, bro. It's like if I went and played for the Golden State Warriors and they're comparing me to Steph Curry, bro. I am not that, and I will never be that. But it's improper expectations that the Dallas Cowboys have set by creating this huge circus between Dak Prescott and Trey Lance, right? So what is really happening? And this is the magical question. Now, I'll never tell a reporter how to do their job, right? Because they have their jobs and everybody needs to keep a roof over their head, right? But the magical question somebody needs to sit down and ask Jerry or Stephen Jones, I prefer to ask Jerry, is what was this all for? What was this all for that you burnt this pick? Like, what is the plan when it comes to Trey Lance? Because here is where I really want Cowboys fans to understand this, right? I mentioned other quarterbacks, from Zach Wilson to Kenny Pickett to, Jake Browning, and you probably guys don't even know who that is, right? Other backup quarterbacks. If you look out of 2 preseason games, a lot of them has only thrown about 17, 18 passes total in preseason, have only thrown around an average of 18 passes in 2 games, right? So why are we going out there and putting Trey Lance pedal to the floor and having him throw 50 times a game? What is the end game if the key is for him to only be a 3rd string quarterback? Now, Jerry Jones says he needs to get more NFL reps, but what does he need to get more NFL reps if you've already coined Cooper Rush as QB2 and he's just an emergency guy? Right? Like, what does he need more reps if he is just an emergency guy? Why is he throwing 40 to 50 times a game? Why is that happening right now? Whose order is that? Because I don't believe that's Mike McCarthy's order. I think that order is coming downstairs from Jerry Jones, and you're putting Trey Lance in a bad situation, bro. When you're throwing 50 times a game, Tony Romo, got him on my wall back there. Y'all remember when Tony Romo went out there versus Buffalo and threw 5 interceptions because he was throwing 50 times a game? Like, quarterbacks throwing that much, your turnover opportunities are going to drastically increase. And I think that's what Cowboys fans do not understand is, why did Trey Lance look night and day difference from week 1 to week 2? Versus the Raiders, they called a much better game plan. He's only thrown around 25 times, right? Play action, using his legs, and keeping on right there. He's not a 50-time-a-game passer. He's not a high-volume passer. We all know that. But granted, it's practice, and you want to stress test it. But my question and my pushback to that is, why aren't we stress testing other players? Wouldn't we want to see, can Deuce Vaughn carry the ball 20 times a game? Like, what does that look like? Can Mozzie play 4 quarters of football? Why are we just focusing on stress testing Trey Lance but no other player? I just don't understand that. And the reason why I personally believe is because Jerry Jones is wanting to put his new toy on display. Now, if Trey Lance would have thrown 50 times, threw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, then he could have sold that to everybody in Dallas and saying, this is why we're not signing Dak Prescott. You are putting Trey Lance in a bad situation that he has nothing to do with. So my closing, when it comes to Trey Lance, either you find a package for him, kind of put him out there and kind of find ways to maneuver him, or you trade him and let him go and get a return on your investment. Do not have your 4th round pick sitting a whole nother year inactive, rotting on the sidelines. It's pointless, and we missed out on a lot of opportunity that we could have gotten in this draft for that player, man. So it's your boy Jay Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. I am not doing a Trey Lance breakdown video again because I'm not combing through 50 throws. I'm not doing another 50 throws. Me and my kids are going to see Deadpool and Wolverine again. I am chilling on this Sunday, man. But I was kind of say that, like, listen, yo, I get it. I want Dak signed, but I'm not just going to tear down Trey Lance and say he's garbage and doesn't belong in the NFL just because I want Dak signed. Like, that's very compromised. And me personally, how I run my business and do things, I just won't tear down one player just to build up another because Dak Prescott is good enough. He don't need it. But I will say this, the price for Dak has gone up drastically. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And can we quit the Hunger Games bullshit, please? Thanks. Peace.